Thank you for watching another episode of Sir Gonzo. Welcome back, everyone, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Thank you. Now, this is going to be a fairly short video. In fact, I want to talk about my experience in the video game industry. Years ago, I used to work for companies like EA, Atari, and Namco. And this video is about how to get into the video game industry. The easiest way, I think, is to actually become a video game tester. But the technical term for it is actually quality assurance technician or QA tester. So you would look for jobs that have those keywords in them. Like if you live in a bigger city, they might have a video game publisher, developer in those cities. I started out in California in the Bay Area, and I started my career in the video game industry at Atari as a QA tester or a video game tester. Now, a place like Atari is just the publisher. They work with developers and they publish their games. So you're not going to get really too far in that company. You're going to do like testing like I did. Or if they're even around in Sunnyvale, California, you would do something maybe that's more like office work or anything like that. I wouldn't actually go after publishers because, again, they just publish the game. They're going to have testers test out the development of the games that they're publishing, of course. But the places I would go would be like EA, and I know EA doesn't sound like a place to work. And I'm sure you guys heard some horrible stories about EA, and who loves loot boxes? But this is a place to go if you want to start your career. A lot of these places use staffing agencies, so you're not going to go get hired firsthand by like EA or say Namco for that matter. A lot of them will use staffing agencies, so you might actually do a search if you're in the area, and if you know there's a game developer in the area, then I would do a search for QA tester. But don't be discouraged if you see a job listing for a staffing agency. As a QA tester or a game tester, a lot of those jobs are seasonal, so you're going to look for staffing agencies that would actually post up those jobs on their website. I forgot that the staffing agencies I went through, but it varies and they change all the time. So definitely look at staffing agencies as a way to get in. And the reason why I'm mentioning a QA tester or a game tester is that, especially for a developer, is that they try to hire within. So when I was working at EA, they went around the office and asked every QA tester if they had certain experiences. And I knew certain people that actually got hired on to do level design or programming. Unfortunately, at the time, I didn't have those skills. I have some skills, but at this moment, but I don't have those skills. I didn't have those skills then. And as a professional myself, I feel like it's a lot easier to hire within. So definitely, if you apply for a job as a level designer or a 3D artist or an artist for that matter, and don't get that job that you're going after, go ahead and go after the QA job. Get your foot in the door. That's what I'm trying to say. Is get your foot and an opportunity may present itself. Don't be discouraged by the horror stories. You've probably heard stuff like people work 12 to 10 hours a day, and that was the case at Atari, and that is the case for that matter for a lot of places. But a lot of the time they treat you much better than any other company I've worked for. I remember this one time when EA was celebrating a release of a game. They celebrated with beer. It was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, or 3:30 or so, and they had everyone go out to their field, and they brought a Budweiser truck, and it's like, not everyone loves beer, of course, but heck, I wouldn't mind having a little drink while getting paid. That was pretty cool. And the weird thing is that they were okay with people getting a little buzzed up. Someone probably got drunk too, and leaving the campus. I was like, well, that's crazy. Or you had the opportunity to go back to work, and of course being buzzed and being a video game tester, I went back to work. I mean, I didn't get much done, but I still got paid to be there until 9 o'clock at that night. I mean, being a video game tester is not glorious. It's not that. It's not like, well, all I'm doing is playing video games. No, it's not just that. There's different types of groups of people on teams that are assigned certain tasks per day. Fortunately for me, though, I was a creative tester, and what this means is that I was able to go around and create bugs, do whatever I needed to do to break the game, or find bugs in the game. And this was very fun to me because I liked at that time I liked breaking games. I hope this advice helps out. I mean, if you're not finding yourself in a video game company through the hard work you're going through, applying and go through those interviews, try something like game testing. I know it's not what you're looking for or the ideal job at the time, but at least you're getting your foot in, and that's the most important part of getting yourself into the video game industry. And that way, you'll be able to put that on your resume, and you can apply for other jobs in your area, and perhaps you'll find success that way. Here's a little funny story for you guys. The inspiration behind me wanting to get into the video game industry started from me beating Sonic 2 and reading through the credits and seeing something about game testers or testers on the ending credits and saying to myself, there's people out there that actually get paid to play video games? And that thought just stuck with me, and ever since then I made it a goal to work for the video game industry, and had great experiences doing so. Unfortunately now, though, I don't work for the video game industry, but when I was working for the video game industry, it was a great experience. And even though there's long hours, and if you're really passionate about video games like I am, then those hours just fly by because you're doing something that you love and you're doing something that you care about. So keep that in mind. Don't be discouraged because of the horror stories that people tell you. Say, well, you work nonstop, and they're like slave shops. They're not really like slave shops. The only company that was like a slave shop was Atari. But that's another story for another day. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like the content, consider subscribing and give me a thumbs up, guys. Alright, see you guys later. Bye.